What's the most luxurious and
Like
fancy, most
extravagant.
expensive, extravagant? I want to use all the good words for that you've seen that you're selling actually.
So we actually have, I mean, it's difficult because we have so much product right now, and there is also a lot of buildings of this caliber that I just mentioned, which are going to be delivered between now and the next 3 to 5 years. There's so much going on. But if I have to pick and choose something today, next year, that's going to be the Aston Martin Tower. It is the only Aston Martin in the entire world. So imagine such a strong brand to actually choose Miami downtown as the location. They could have done this tower anywhere, from Dubai through anywhere around the world, and they decide to do it in Miami. So we're very excited. The building is pretty much sold out. What we have left is the triplex penthouse that has its own helipad, kind of similar to Zaha Hadid's building, you know, with the helipad. And that is the penthouse that is listed at 59 million.
So when you mentioned levels already, I just thought about when you did your first sale and when you're doing sales right now, what's the difference in excitement and feeling?
I remember the first thing I can tell you is I had many sleepless nights, just because somebody like myself, I'm very structured. I like to know what's coming. And so switching from corporate America and stability to 100% commission-based job was really challenging for me, just mentally. And I remember I had panic attacks and I just could not sleep probably for the first year. It was really difficult. As much as I may appear confident now, it was actually nerve-wracking. It was really bad. Like the first year, it was hard. And you get to the point where you have the savings, and so then you're just going through those savings. But then you're working every day, but you don't really have the control of the outcome. Are you going to close or not?
When you picture America, capitalism, you just work, there's no time, but you got to have time. You got to find time for yourself.
Yeah.
But how important is that, finding time for yourself?
You know, it's been a challenge for me because I then turned out to be like a workaholic, obviously. You know, we go home and what happens? You go see your friends, they're all sitting having coffee for 3 hours. It's not just where we're from. It's the entire Europe or even Latin America, anywhere, not just the Balkans, anywhere. It's the same thing. People are the same. It's just that America is different. This country is very different. And then the rest of the world functions in a certain way. So the luxury of sitting down for 3 hours and just not doing anything and talk with your friends and just, you know, do that in Europe or do it in Mexico or do it somewhere else. It's just, we don't have that luxury.
Can you imagine Miami like in 10 years, 15 years, how it's going to look like?
I honestly, you know, this is the youngest city in the United States. It's been around for about 120 years. It's really impressive. We have always had the beaches and the beautiful climate and the ocean and the whole lifestyle of people, you know, rich people coming to retire. But Miami is just now a real cosmopolitan city, because we do have now the culture and the museums, and we do have the Art Basel and some of the major, you know, the boat shows and all of these cultural events that bring about 100,000 visitors in a couple of days, you know, and so it's a huge economic impact on the city. The city from here forward can only grow. We may feel like it's growing too fast, and, you know, it's the part of gentrification, but it's really not, because if you look, even just visually, if you look between the Brickell and downtown and Edgewater, you just look past 5 blocks. There's still Overtown, and there's still all of these pockets that need to be fully developed. As much as we're pushing that way and we're gentrifying these areas which are by the water, you also have to see how much more potential there is. Because